So prioritize your health. Prioritize your vision for the future. Cut out all of your distractions. Learn the hard, difficult skills that get you towards success. And always remember, start stacking the wins by saying what you're going to do and keeping your word. If you are doing those things, you will become a better man every day of the week. So for most of my life, I have been the biggest damn loser you can imagine. Think of Forrest Gump, but 10 times worse. That's where I was. I was being bullied on a day-to-day basis. I had almost zero social skills, little friends. I had, at some point, depression and suicidal thoughts. I had zero confidence, zero self-esteem. I had a lot of limiting beliefs about myself. I felt terrible on a day-to-day basis. And the truth is, I can overcome this. I have been able to do this, and so can you. And so what I want to do in this video is share with you the 4 rules to level up as a man, to reach your potential, and to break out of that quote-unquote loser mentality. Because here's the thing, there is no honor, there is no status, there's no fame, there is no virtue in staying stuck in life. We all come from different parts of life. We all have our different upbringings. We all have our different starting points. That's all right. But if you stay stuck where you are, there's nothing good about this. So this is about leveling up. This is about taking back your life. Saying, I'm a human being, damn it. My life has value. And I will do whatever it takes to maximize what I get out of this life. I will maximize my joy, my fulfillment, my status, my achievements in this life, because I will not forsake the life that I've been given. That's what this video is about. So let's dive right into these 4 things. And so number 1, it is this. That's vision looking forward. So let me tell you, back in the day, I felt depressed because I was being bullied on a day-to-day basis. I had no self-esteem, no confidence, nothing of that sort in me at the time. And so that's worse enough, right? If you're in a terrible situation, of course you're going to feel sad, you're going to feel depressed. But that all changed one day. One day, at some point I was like, oh my God, maybe I should just end it all, right? That's the lowest of lows I've been at. But then there's also this voice that spoke up inside of my head, who's like, you know what? You are not the problem here. You are capable of doing 10 times, 100 times, 10,000 times more than what you are doing right now. That voice spoke up to me. And it's like, yeah, you are not the problem. They are. And so that's the night where I went from contemplating suicide to contemplating murder. But the thing is, I got myself a vision. That is the first thing. You need to know where you are headed and why you are headed there. And so back in the day, my motivation was simple. I wanted to run my own business because I wanted to have more success than all of my bullies combined could even dream of. That's what pulled me forward. And here's the thing about depression. It is not just the situation you're in. It is also not seeing a way out of it. You get depressed when you stay stuck and when you're like, oh my God, I cannot get out of this. That's when it really hits you. If you're like, yeah, my situation here is terrible, but I'm moving this way. I'm getting out of this. Depression isn't going to hit you. Not as hard, at least. Sure, there are days when you feel bad, when you feel terrible. But on the whole, you will start climbing. Not just in your achievements, but also in your mental capabilities and the way you feel about yourself. So the first thing is you need to have a clear vision of where you are heading. And if you don't have that, go and literally sit your ass down, take a pen and a piece of paper and write down exactly what it is that you want to get out of life. If you want to make this easier, split it up into categories. This box, this box, this box, this box. So for example, how do you want your intimate relationship, your partner, to be like? What's the relationship like? What are they like? What are you like in that relationship? Secondly, think about your career, your finances. Think about your fitness, your body, right? Your physical health. Think about your daily habits, your day-to-day life. Where do you live? What do you have? What do you do on a day-to-day basis? Do you have a family? What are your relationships with other people like? Right? Those kinds of questions. Break it down into these separate boxes and figure those things out for yourself. From there on, it is all about cutting out distractions. You have that clarity. Now make sure you stay on track with it. So here's something I want you to do. Something I did recently that has been both very uncomfortable, but also very, very liberating for me. And that is this. Take out your phone. What you're going to do is you're going to take your phone and you're going to go to your settings. Go to your notification settings and turn off all notifications. All of them. And so the only ones you're going to keep is the ones from your calendar and stuff like that. The alarms that you set yourself. Guess what? If you're constantly on your phone and you're working towards this bigger dream, this bigger goal, but then you're like, ooh, text message. Ooh, new video from someone on YouTube. Ooh, new email. Ooh. And it's like, squirrel. And you get distracted. You're looking there. Oh, bleep, phone goes off. You're texting someone, right? You need focus. You need intention. You need clarity. And you need to work with focus. Laser focus on what you want. Because here's the thing. Your phone, your email, your text messages, they are a perfect organizational system of other people's agendas. It's what other people want from you, not what you want from you. So cut it out. Just delete the notifications, delete the apps that aren't useful to you, and have that distraction-free area. Same thing with your desk, right? This area, everything within your reach. Make sure there are no distractions in that zone. So if you're constantly like playing with some toy or whatever it is, get it the fuck out of there. Get that away from where you do your work. When you focus on becoming a man you are meant to be. That is the crucial element here. And so that's the first thing. The first rule of the jungle of becoming that strong man. And guess what? I didn't have any discipline. I didn't have any focus. I didn't have real intention until I was in my mid-20s. Right? I was just scattered all over the place and I failed time after time after time after time because I could not get myself to do the difficult things. And part of that is because of this. It is because of the stories we tell ourselves. So let me tell you a story about a coworker. So one day she told me this story where it's like she went to her therapist. And at one point the therapist said something incredibly confusing and shocking to her. So what he said was like, hey, whenever you're cleaning the house or you're doing something, just go about your day just singing, I don't matter, I don't matter, I don't matter, for 5 minutes straight. And she sat there just shocked like, what the hell? That doesn't make any sense, right? And so the therapist smiled at her and he's like, exactly, now you're getting it. Because she had been talking down on herself the entire time. And here's the thing, that's what I was doing as well. I was constantly saying to myself, oh yeah, I'm such a loser. I want to be this, but. Take good note of that. Because every time you say, oh yeah, I cannot do it because of this reason, guess what? You cannot do it because you tell yourself about that reason. That's the crucial indicator here. So a story about this would be the 4-minute mile. I can't remember the guy's name, but everyone said it was impossible. And he's like, I don't believe that it's impossible. And so he went for it. And then he broke that 4-minute mile, which people thought was impossible. Within a year, I think like 10 other people did it. So if you believe you cannot do it, if you tell yourself, oh, I'm a loser, I'm not disciplined, I am not a good person socially, I am just a terrible person overall. If you tell yourself those things, you reinforce that you are those things and you will never actually make a change from that until you switch up that story, until you switch up that language. So that's crucial here. If you tell yourself, oh yeah, I'm depressed, it's something clinical, it's just who I am, you will stay depressed forever. If you're like, I'm depressed, I can get out of this, I will change. Now you can move forward. Because that's the thing. If I had believed back in the days when I was suicidal, back when I was depressed, that depression was permanent, that it was something I had no power over, that it was just a disease, if I had believed that for even a minute, I would be dead right now. And I mean that, literally. I would have been dead. And so the way to get out of that is to know that you have power. It's to know that depression, that sadness, that anxiety are signs that something in your life is broken. It's a sign that, hey, something needs to be addressed. Something needs to be fixed. And if you don't take the moments to fix those things, you will be in that continuous loop. And it will get worse and worse and worse. And the reason for that is because you know over here, you know that clarity, where you want to go. But now if you are not congruent with it, now that depression, that anxiety, that sadness, that fear, that signals from your mind telling you, hey, you are not being the person you are meant to be. That's what it's about, right? It needs to change. It's a signal like, hey, over here, this thing is broken. Go and fix it. Go and keep your word. If you say you're going to go to the gym, go to the damn gym, right? That's what's going to strengthen your discipline. And that's the second thing that I want to go into here. And so for the second element, I wish I could tell you that once I got that vision clear, I was set. But that's not the case, unfortunately. There was one big mistake that prevented me from being a real man that I made that held me back for about a decade. A fucking decade, because I didn't know this one thing I'm going to teach you right this moment. And so what I had was, I had this vision moving forward, and then what I did was I was only reading books, reading blogs, watching videos, listening to podcasts. I was doing all that, but in the meantime I was not taking action. And I figured this thing out basically by accident when I was in my mid-20s. And so here's the thing. Here's what I would have done instead if I had known this a decade earlier. Instead of just watching 10 videos, like this is my playlist over here, I would watch one video and I would implement it. Here's the thing to becoming a virtuous man. Someone who actually has confidence, who people trust, who has a great life. It all starts here. It starts with making promises to yourself and keeping them. And so my mistake was that I was telling myself, hey, I'm going to become an entrepreneur. I'm going to become a business owner. I'm going to become more successful than my bullies could ever dream of being. Right? I was telling myself all of these things over here, all of this crap, because at the same time, I was lowering my confidence. I was lowering my self-esteem, and I was lowering my discipline because I never actually took the actions that would have gotten me there. And so, as a result, I got into debt. Both financially, but more importantly, I got into debt with myself. Meaning, I broke so many promises of things I would say I would do that I didn't do. That I didn't trust myself. I had no confidence. And the way, if you are there, to start rebuilding that, is by saying to yourself, hey, I am going to go to the gym today. And then when you say you're going to go to the gym, you're actually going to go to the gym. Whether you feel like it or not. Whether you're happy, whether you're motivated or you're not. Whether you feel anxious or you feel great. Whether you say you're feeling good or you're feeling depressed. It does not matter. As soon as you make a promise, either to yourself or to other people, you keep that promise. Period. Because guess what? If someone you know tells you, oh yeah, I'm just gonna do this for you, or I'm gonna help you there, I'm gonna help you move on Friday, and then they don't show up, right? If that happens, you lose your trust in them. If you tell yourself, I'm gonna go to the gym tomorrow, and you don't go, you lose your trust in yourself. So the next step, crucial element of becoming a real man, is to keep your word. Both to other people, but more importantly to ourselves. So for example, if you set your alarm in the morning, you fucking get up when that thing rings. If you just snooze it 10 times and then you're like late for everything, you have set your day up for failure. Because when you don't keep that first promise in the morning, you're already telling yourself that it's okay to not do the things that success requires of you, to not do the things that make you into the person you want to become. You are already telling yourself that, hey, it's okay to flake out, it's okay not to do anything. Just if you let your emotions dictate your actions, you're already on the wrong track. Because guess what? Your mind is amazing. And I mean amazing at rationalizing things. Oh yeah, it's okay to sleep in because I didn't sleep well last night. I went to bed a bit late. So let me get this extra hour. It's fine. I can do it tomorrow or I can do it later in the afternoon. Your mind is always gonna come up with excuses not to do it one way or another. And so that's where I was stuck as well. For 10 years, it's like telling myself one thing. Yeah, I'm gonna be the greatest. And then I wasn't doing it. And then I felt more down about myself. And then I never got anything done until I got into this mindset of, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna stick with it. Period. No matter how I feel about doing it in that moment, if I said I'm gonna do something, I will do it. And that is what discipline is all about. And that's how you actually build it. And so when I first started doing this, it was terrible. Like I would do it one day, and then the next day I would set myself up for failure again. I would say this thing, I would say this thing, I would say this thing, I would say this thing. And then out of those 4, I would do 2 of them. Right? And then over time, it went from maybe like 50-50, or even like 60% I would not do, to I would do 60%, 70%, 80%. Right now I'm at like probably 90% of the things I say I do, I actually do. There are some days when I still fall back into those old patterns. But as you do this, you become the stronger willed person. The person who is capable of achieving the goals that you have set for yourself. The person who is admirable. The person that you can be proud of, right? That's what this is all about. It's not just about success financially in your dating life, in your relationships, in your health and fitness. It is also about looking in the mirror, looking at yourself and being like, yes, I am proud of who I am. And that all starts with this thing here of making and keeping promises to yourself, your integrity, your standards, your values. That's what matters so much. Do not forsake on those. If you do that, you are diminishing your confidence, your self-esteem, your discipline, and you will never actually achieve the success that you want to get out of life. Never. That personal integrity is everything. So right now, what we have is first of all to have that laser focused vision of where you are, where you want to go. That much is obvious, right? If you don't have a clear goal in mind, you're never going to get anywhere. From there, you're going to cut out distractions. You're going to make promises to yourself. You're going to keep them. And so one of the things I often see all the time is, I want to do all these great things, but I don't have the energy to do it. And so for that number 3 of becoming a man is to prioritize your fitness, exercising on a day-to-day basis. And here's the thing. You are like, oh yeah, but I'm already just so low on energy. Guess what? If you don't train your body, how are you going to have the energy to carry out the dreams and to carry out the activities that will get you towards success? You're not, right? If you are overweight and even just walking around or getting up the stairs is heavy, is terrible for you, then how are you going to tackle your life's problems? And the answer is you can't. So if you're out of shape, which I was for most of my life, it is time to start getting in shape. And right now, I'm probably the best I've ever been. Still not where I wanted to be. But I have become so much better over the last year. I've been way more consistent with my exercise. So every day, I'm doing push-ups. I'm doing some sit-ups, things like that. On most days, I have got my VR headset that I'm using to work up a sweat there as well. And so those kinds of things are what get you from A to B, right? If you do not have your physical health in order, you will not have the energy to tackle things. Working out is, yes, it's hard. It's difficult to do it every day, but that builds discipline. That builds self-control. And not only that, you get stronger. You get more energy. And it's like, if someone is in great shape, there's not a single person who said, like, you know what? Getting in the best shape of my life, getting fit, that was a terrible decision. There's no one. If you can do this, if you can exercise every single day, your life will change forever. And as some side effects, right? You have stronger muscles. You look better. People will look at you differently. Because whether we like to admit it or not, this whole don't judge a book by its cover, that's fucking bullshit. We all do it. It's a natural thing. And so change the damn cover. Right? If you're not happy with how you look, you can change that. There are some things you cannot change, like your height, but there's definitely things that you can change with your muscle. Right? Those kinds of things. Make those changes, become the better cover, and then as we work on these 4 things, you become the better book as well in this analogy, right? You change yourself on the outside as well as on the inside. And so the last thing to becoming a truly capable and real man who is confident, who is reaching their goals, and who is reaching your potential. If you want to be that person, the last thing you need is to build the right skills. Because guess what? No matter how much time you spend prepping yourself up, using positive affirmations, even when you keep those promises to yourself, if you're not doing anything with that discipline, with the habits you're building, then what are you doing really? Right? You want to have some accomplishments that you can be proud of. I heard a quote the other day from Fresh and Easy, great channel on YouTube. And that quote is, competence leads to accomplishments, which leads to confidence. And so what it means is learn the hard skills that will get you success. So maybe it is sales, maybe it is marketing, maybe it's just using the AI tools we have available today, right? Have some skill that can earn you a living, where you can be passionate about what you do on a day-to-day basis. Have that vision for what you want and learn those skills. Become competent. Because there is no virtue in being weak. So let me explain it like this. If you have no muscles whatsoever, right? If you're a weak person, then not entering a fight is not a virtue. It is a sign of weakness. If you are Mike Tyson, on the other hand, not choosing violence is a virtue. It's a strength, right? So you need to first have some form of power, whether that's emotional, physical, mental, or all of the above, right? If you have that, now you need to actually control that. I love the way Jordan Peterson says this. And one of the examples he would use is Harry Potter. He has the skills, he has the determination, and he has everything in him to do a lot of potential harm to other wizards, other people. But he's also one of the most kind people around. He's always helping. He only uses his powers for good until an actual threat shows up, and then he just becomes relentless. He becomes unstoppable, and he doesn't hesitate. And he doesn't stop until he defeats the forces of evil. Right? So that's the kind of man you want to become. And for that, you need to be stronger. Physically, mentally, emotionally. In all of those ways. So once again, let me share one of my huge mistakes that prevented me from becoming the person I am today. And if I did this a few years earlier, right now I would have been unstoppable. Right? It slowed me down for a couple of years of becoming the person I want to become. And so that mistake is the following. At the times, I was only just watching videos, reading blogs, just like you are right now, basically, right? I was consuming content. By the way, if you like this video, give it a quick thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. But here's the missing element. Learning is not about the information you take in. It is how you transform that information into applicable things in your life. So let me give you an example of that. If you watch this video and you do not start setting and keeping more promises to yourself, you have not learned shit from this video. Nothing at all. If you watch this video and you do not prioritize your physical well-being afterwards, you have not learned shit from this video. If you keep making the same dumb mistakes, even after I pointed out how they devastated my own life, then you are not actually learning from this. So prioritize your health, prioritize your vision for the future, cut out all of your distractions, learn the hard, difficult skills that get you towards success, and always remember, start stacking the wins by saying what you're going to do and keeping your word. If you are doing those things, you will become a better man every day of the week. If you neglect to do these things, you will be like me, like I was before. You will be spinning your wheels. You will get nowhere. You will feel worse and worse and worse about yourself because you're saying you're going to be one thing and you're not doing it. You're not congruent with who you say you are. And as a result of that, as a result of not being my potential best self, of not doing the things that get me towards that vision, because of that, I was depressed, I was anxious, I was sad. Because of it. It's not the other way around as most people think. Like, oh yeah, I'm depressed, I'm anxious, I'm sad, so I cannot get myself moving forward towards my goals. I'll first need to work out these emotional things. That's the reverse order. Because you are not doing the right things that move you forward, anxiety kicks in as a signal of like, hey, come on, wake up. Yo, hey, hello, pay attention, right? Pay attention to your life. Wake the hell up here. You need to fix these things. That's what it is. Depression, sadness, anxiety. They are signals that something in your life is broken, that something needs to be fixed, and that you are not living up to your potential. That you're saying you want one thing, but you're doing another. That's what it means. And so my challenge for you would be to figure out what it is that you are forsaking to do. What it is that you are not doing, but should. And if you can figure that out, now you can fix things, right? It's not something that you are powerless over. I've been a weak man most of my life because I gave that power away. I was this person like, oh yeah, this is just the way it is for now, right? It's nothing I can do about this. And as long as you keep that attitude, nothing in your life will change. And so again, these are the ways of the strong, independent man who is capable of achieving success, who is capable of doing anything, who is proud of himself, who is confident, who has self-esteem, right? The kind of man that other men look up to and that women desire. The kind of man who achieve anything financially and in their careers because they have the confidence. They are relentless. The men who have integrity, who keep their word. The men who have high standards for themselves and who hit those. The worst thing you can do for yourself is to set low standards, set low goals, and then hit them. Because even though you might feel great, you might have that little rush of dopamine, like it's happy la la land, right? But if you only set low goals for yourself, you set yourself up for a life of mediocrity. And if you're watching this video, if you're still watching this, you were meant for something greater. And you fucking know it. Or you wouldn't be watching this video, would you? Right? And so these steps, these 4 things, these 4 mistakes have cost me well over a decade of my life. I have been in the same position for 10 years because I didn't know these 4 things. So please take this to heart. And I wish I knew these things when I was 14, 15, 16 years old, when I was being bullied, when I was depressed. I wish I had someone to tell me these kinds of things, because if I had listened to that in those times, I would have been unstoppable right in this moment. And so don't neglect these things. They are incredibly powerful if you implement them in your own life. And with that said, go ahead, give this video a quick thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.